to another learning adventure. I am teacher Jass, and today we will discuss about Mathematics 8 Quarter 4 Module 8, the probability of simple event. To start with, let us bow down our head and put ourselves in the presence of the Lord.
Hands together and feel the presence of the Lord. Father God, thank you for this wonderful day. We ask you, Father, to come with us today. Fill our hearts with joy, our minds with learning, our class with peace, our lessons with fun, our friendships with kindness, and above all, fill us with your love. Amen.
Today, we are going to define the probability of a simple event. And to find the probability of a simple event, we are all aware of how coronavirus affect our life for more than a year. What if we get the probability of recovering here in Zamboanga City? Here is the first activity. Determine the probability you will recover if you get infected by coronavirus based on the data that we have as of now here in Zamboanga City. Here are the cases. There are total cases of 10,175 and 7,657 recovered. You have 20 seconds to answer. Your time starts now. It was explained in the video, for us to be able to get the probability, we just have to divide the number of recovered patients to the total number of cases. And this will give us 7,657 divided by 10,175. That is equivalent to 0.7525. Or in percent, that is 75.25%. Compared from the previous year, the probability of recovering today is higher because nowadays, people already know what to do in case they get infected and also to protect themselves from the virus. These are things that we've learned in our health class. So what is a probability? Probability is a mathematical term for the likelihood that something will occur. We use probability in daily life to make decisions when you don't know for sure what the outcome will be. So how do you determine the probability of simple event? The probability of simple event is finding the single event occurring. When finding the probability of an event occurring, we will use the formula. The number of favorable outcomes over the number of total outcomes.
Now, let us talk about the probability of simple event, or P of event. It is a number from 0 to 1, which tells how likely the event is to happen. When finding the probability of an event occurring, we will use the formula. Number of favorable outcomes over the number of total outcomes. In symbol, that is P of E equals N of E over N of S, where N of E represents the favorable outcomes and N of S is the total number of possible outcomes. There are also probability rules that we have to consider. Number 1, the probability of any event is a number either in fraction, in decimal, or in percent from 0 to 1. If an event will never happen, then its probability is 0. If the event is sure to happen, then the probability is 1, which is equivalent to 100%. And number 4, the sum of the probabilities of all the outcomes in the sample space is 1. Let us have an example. What is the probability of obtaining an even number in rolling a die once? There are 6 numbers in a die. The even numbers are 2, 4, and 6. To answer it, we have 2, 4, and 6, or 3 favorable outcomes that is divided to the total number of dice, which are 6 numbers. This will give us 3 over 6, or it can be reduced to 1 over 2, or in decimal, that is 0.5. In percent, that is 50%. This means we have 50% chance in obtaining an even number in rolling a die once. Number 2. Find the probability of getting ahead when tossing a coin. Tossing a coin will only give us 2 outcomes, either head or tail. There is only 1 head in a coin. That is why we have 1 over 2, where 1 is the number of favorable outcome and 2 is the total outcome. In decimal, that is 0.50, and in percent, that is 50%. This means we have 50% chance in obtaining a head when tossing a coin. Another example. What is the probability of getting a diamond in a deck of cards? There are 52 cards in a deck. 13 of those are diamond. So we have 13 over 52. If we reduce it, it will give us 1 over 4. In decimal, that is 0.25. And in percent, that is 25%. Which means we have 25% probability of getting a diamond in a deck of cards.
Were you able to get it? It's so easy, right? Now, it's your turn to do it.
So now, we are going to find the probability of the simple event. Number 1 problem. A pot of buttons has 2 white buttons, 3 red buttons, 4 black buttons, and 1 yellow button. If a button is picked at random, what is the probability that the button picked is black? In this problem, we have 2 white buttons, 3 red buttons, 4 black buttons, and 1 yellow button. We want to get the probability of picking a black button. First, we get the total of the button. We have 10. Now, you have 10 seconds to answer this problem. Your time starts now.
Now, I want you to check your paper. Let us solve the problem all together.
Here is how we are going to solve it. The number of black buttons is 4 over the total buttons, that is 10. We can reduce 4 over 10 to 2 over 5. In decimal, that is 0.40. And in percent, that is 40%. This means there is 40% probability of picking black buttons only. Problem number 2. There are 28 girls and 12 boys in a class. If a student is selected at random, what is the probability that the student selected is a girl? You have 10 seconds to answer the problem. Your time starts now. Let us answer the problem. There are 28 girls and 12 boys in a class. We want to know the probability of selecting a girl. The total number of students is 40. So we have 28 over 40. Or it can be reduced to 7 over 10. In decimal, that is 0.70. In percent, that is 70%. So there is 70% chance of selecting a girl in the class. This time, I want you to think of an example where probability of simple events is being used in our day-to-day activity. Here are some examples. Weather forecasting, winning the lottery, card games, natural disasters, and more. The probability of simple events play an important role in our life. A while ago, we also discussed about the probability of recovering if we get infected by coronavirus, which also helped us to take the situation seriously to be able to protect ourselves. To generalize the topic, the probability of a simple event is finding the probability of simple event occurring. When finding the probability of an event occurring, we will use the formula number of favorable outcomes over the number of total outcomes. In symbols, P of E equals N of E over N of S, where N of E represents the favorable outcomes and N of S is the total number of possible outcomes.
It is about time to check your understanding. You are given 10 seconds to answer each question. Time's up. Now, let us check your answers. Here are the correct answers. We have Number 1, letter A. Number 2, letter A. Number 3, letter B. Number 4, letter C. And number 5, letter C. Were you able to get a perfect score? Congratulations! For your assignment, I want you to create a collage about the use of probability of simple events in our life. You can send your collage through Messenger. Link is given below. And that's it for today. Thank you for joining me here. I hope you enjoyed our lesson. Once again, my name is Teacher Jass. Always remember that learning mathematics is fun. Bye!